bans here, Hap.
And there we go. Which ones will be removed? For playing Consulate, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Nomad get off the board straight at the bat. Like, it's Nomad and Valkyrie, bans that often go hand in hand, especially in Consulate. And wouldn't be too weirded out to see that. There we go. Is there... Oh, no, actually, Capitao. Okay.
Just one thing that's worth saying, by the way, I value Corey. I don't value Leon after those comments. Corey wished us that we have fun, that all the viewers have fun as well, but Leon had to be the party pooper and come in and say that he hopes we don't. Let's see what the bans shape up for us. You mentioned the Capitao, you mentioned the Nomad. They're the two big ones that you look for on the attacking side nowadays, and you mentioned the Valkyrie is the other ban you expect to come through on the defensive side. What are you thinking for the other defensive ban?
The other defensive ban, well, here we go. It's going to be a one-mile. It's not even going to be much hypothesizing about it. It's just easily being removed. And we have seen plenty of times it could be a very valuable pick. Often we see people complain about Jaeger and Mice too much to get your throwables into. And it's not going to be a Valkyrie to be removed. It's the Echo, as it is, of course, back in play. That will no longer see the light of day. So we have our 4 bans here. And that means right now Empire is starting on the attack, meaning Rogue will choose the side.
It's interesting with the Valkyrie up there, as you mentioned. Lots of opportunities for those jump outs that we see teams love, and some even going as far as doubling up on the jump out, sending 2 out of meeting window, fully accepting that one may get hit by an air jab and the other will be able to find the kills. But here with the Nomad band, who knows what that may lead to. Going to start things off on the upstairs site, console and meeting, and there's no shenanigans coming through here. We're not seeing an Amaru or any of the crazy stuff we're used to seeing out of teams like Tempera. Looks pretty straight and narrow here, I think, Cap.
Let's indeed see.
Need to locate and defuse as many
As
bombs
well, the Ace coming out, of course, right now. First time we get to see that in play together with Melusi for the EUL, that is. So it's good to see him coming out. And, like, what I want to see is how will this Melusi be played? Like, how will it work out? Where will these Banshees be deployed? How impactful will it be? As, of course, it slows you down quite a bit. Will there be more utility used, as in, will we see S-charges or Zofia impacts being used, maybe even grenades that always brings along? Like, it is going to be an impactful gadget, as many predict, but how impactful will it really be?
5 seconds to go.
Well, I remember when she first came out, and obviously Twitter was on fire, as it always is when a new operator comes out, with worry and concern about what she might bring to the table. And everyone was like, it's absolute rubbish. You can't deal with those gadgets. They're a nightmare. But over time, people have kind of settled in that opinion, I think, and put a lot more focus instead onto Ace, the other operator that came alive at the same time. And I think with the Ace, the biggest fear is that he makes it so difficult to keep any walls closed that you may want to keep closed. It's almost impossible. It's said to give the game a very big attacker lean right now, and I think that can be a really exciting thing, because after months of everyone saying, oh, well, it's defender-sided, utility everywhere, yada, 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 shields, evil eyes, so on and so forth, Ace does help transform that a little bit. There is less of a reliance on needing a lot of hard breach, because you can just play how they'll be trying to play here with the Ace. However, first kill comes in for Dan onto Corey, and in pretty quick time as well, only 45 seconds into the round.
Be really quick going through right there. As Corey has been taken out. Is the Doc gone? No more ACOG. Well, on that lineup, of course, wasn't there, as new scopes are in. They'll be fired to be attempted, as Leon still has control of these yellow stairs. And if he's yes, yellow stairs. And that is going to be the main point right here. They need to have that yellow control. You see the drones coming in. They're trying to gain control. And as Leon rotates out, now it's Rips to get in with a reply and bringing it back to a 4-on-4. And Leon still survives as he's going on a huge rotate here.
Leaving it a bit risky, I think, to still be rotated this late into the round. I guess you're expecting they'll all be up here, and he finds one of the windows, sees the feet, sees the body, can't quite connect the shots to bring him down. Dan does get a little bit of a tickle, so down to 75% HP, but he is still alive. And I think it's one worth mentioning, Sledge and Buck making an appearance here, with the Buck picking up his second kill of the round. Down goes Rips.
That's a beautiful wallbang to come through indeed, and it's going to be Husty now that needs to get himself closer to its side. Still has that Nitro available for him, so if a plant attempt comes through, or if Dan sits a bit too long right here in the bathroom, he could have been picked up, but a Nitro will just miss out, and that is going to be Dan aware of the fact that someone will be below, and they will have to keep that in mind for these last 55 seconds as the attempt to plant.
Yeah, Shepard going in here for the plant on top of those smokes. Of course, the ace, very, very useful for that. But Leon coming big so far with a double kill in this round. He's got it all to do by himself, being sprayed down. There's one on the rappel outside. I don't think he gets his last kill. No way he does. Shepard connects it. And Empire taking round number 1 with a massive focus off towards the yellow stairs side there. Looked like Rogue a little bit lost on how to push back against the aggressors in that round, I think, Cap.
Definitely was. They tried to push it back, weren't able to quite do it. The C4, if that would have landed onto that, it would have completely changed things up. Empire would have been a bit more careful potentially going into that, considering they knew one was below. They just lost their presence on yellow stairs, and well, Leon was basically free to move through on that point. They almost managed to bring it back, but not just quite yet, and they instantly will decide to change things up and go to lobby press. Bring that Valkyrie out now, as it is free information, really, getting those black eyes out, some might say, you know, dangerous but useful in some instances, if you remember that one. Also a Rook coming out. It's been a long while since we've seen that.
Attackers have located
I was excited almost half there to see a Rook and a Doc coming out together. The double ACOG setup. I know a certain Norwegian caster who'd be very, very excited by that. Not going to be the case here. But with the mutes going down already inside of the bathroom and all these reinforcements being put down around it, I think we're going to see a hold inside the bathroom here. Not to be unexpected. You can contest in towards yellow stairs pretty comfortably from playing inside a bathroom. And those mutes just make it a bit harder. 1, to get those walls opened up. And 2, to also get drones inside there to find out who's playing in there, whereabouts they're sat, where the grenades need to come singing in from. Very much a staged defense on the upstairs and inside a bathroom here coming out from Rogue.
Quickly checking on the lineup here as we see the very upstairs heavy hold, which you would assume, of course, would be the case for a lobby hold. Often the attack starts and ends with the control of top floor, because as soon as you have that, you can lock out any player in antechamber, any player inside that bathroom. You can securely get the plan down wherever you want, and that means that it's just a very crucial position. Almost like when you're talking about Oregon, you want to have Boiler, you want to have the top floor here. And Kazaka starts things off. It's joystick to fall. That is your Sophia gone, a bit of utility gone as well. But it's not that important now. There's not really any shields or Melusis that you have to take care of.
The beautiful thing about the last time these two teams played is it was none other than Karjeka who came out top rated. He was 14-7, despite not being the entry player for the team. He was the one getting involved in all the kills and showing his old team what for. And with that opening kill, at least gets himself a look into this game. And I'm aware we haven't touched all that much on Hosty either. You've seen with the Tag Demise, that's a team that played inside of UKIN recently. We all love Hosty in the UK. Him and Joe, who you're going to see playing for Na'Vi later on, were two of the players that I think there was a lot of hype around. Joe obviously being the one that everyone's looking to, but you really can't ignore that Hosty is stepping in, of course, for aces right here. Start of this round, though, still 2 men down for the side of Empire. Rogue, the ones in a bit more control this round. I feel like they are biting back a little bit here against Empire and saying this round is not going to go the same way as last one. This time round, we'll make sure we pick up a couple of members, remove the bites from your attack, and give ourselves a little bit more comfort.
Definitely an Empire right now being banished towards the eastern side of the map. They're still desperate to try and get that top floor control, always right there on Visa stairs, hoping to push through soon, but it's still the shield in the middle of the hallway. It's being pinged out, meaning that an S charge is what they want to have, and always picks up Karjeka to start things up. They're hoping to take top floor control anytime soon, but as long as that shield is there, it's going to be a tough battle to fight. As Leon picks up a double kill, Shepard goes quite low as well, and it's a 2-3 situation now as they're still trying to go for the top floor hold.
Yeah, Scooter traded back onto Leon, shuts down his rampage with the double kill in this round. Hosty's down and injured, leaving us in a 2 versus 2 effectively. Scooter, the one doing all the work, just put us down with 40 seconds left into a 2 versus 2, so not the end of the world for either side, but things are looking a little bit shaky. Got the members of Rogue playing downstairs at present, a couple of members on the attacking side holding on to the upstairs. It's kind of what you come to expect on this map. When defending this site, you take hold of the upstairs, commit 2, maybe 3 members up there, force the attackers to have to fight you out. But once they're done and all the utility has been burnt, all the blood has been shed, you're still in a spot where you're not on the right floor to go for a plant inside the site. And with that clock ticking down to 15 seconds or so, I think we all know exactly which way this round should play out. A smoke grenade does come out, Corey finding one, a second one comes through, and actually it's the smoke that does the work for them there. Rogue taking round number 2, that puts us at 1 apiece, and I think we've seen flashes in the pan from both teams so far, both of them stepping up and making themselves known.
And definitely so. We see these C4 plays coming in now. We saw one attempt to kill round number 1, and we saw an actual one landing now. And it's really impactful when that happens. If you manage to just pick someone off without even taking a gunfight, you're basically putting yourself out of risk. You're putting yourself up still in full HP, not being spotted out, to be able to go for the next gunfight you take. And well, it's so important to hit these C4 kills. And Rogue, you can definitely see that they're trying to get one, maybe two each round as they keep on consistently bringing them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
Two
can.
more I can turn into for them as we head back upstairs once more. Setup-wise, nothing massive to shout home about on the changes on either side. I alluded to that sledge and the buck earlier on. Something I don't think we've seen for an awful long time. Maybe back in the days when there were double frags coming through from both of these operators, but lately it's definitely been a lean towards bringing a sledge over the buck. Why do you think we're seeing both of them coming along here together as an item?
Well, of course, Buck has the ability to go for vertical destruction upwards, is something that Sledge is unable to do. And considering we're playing inside Theater console office right now, there's a good opportunity to bring him. There's some points, for example, connected, that could be tricky, fighting from the window, or if someone is, well, digging himself into the bathroom, something we've seen before when was actually playing there. They open it up from below, they shot him right after, and a Buck is, of course, the ideal operator to do so. Quickly pop in one shot of your skeleton key, follow it up with a couple of rounds of your C8. You got that kill in the bag, and that is going to be it.
Bring it into actual... Oh, okay. Not really quite part of the plan, I don't think, but hey, these things happen. It's okay, at least it wasn't a frag grenade. That could have been a much more catastrophic encounter with the great outdoors there, I fear. You can see once more, this is very similar though to how the first round played out for Empire. All of their focus went in towards yellow stairs and they didn't care about anything else. It was Leon who was roaming down towards Spiral and actually almost managed to find Dan, if you remember, bringing him down to about 75 HP on bathroom window. This time around, he's playing much more defensively, playing much more aggressively defensively, should I say, in holding at the top of yellow and just daring them to come and push him. I like how this Melusi gadget stuck to the halfway point up yellow stairs as well. So if someone does try and do a more aggressive push up there and tries to catch him off guard, well, guess what? You're getting caught out by that Melusi gadget.
Yeah, indeed, and as all three of these ADSs now have been wasted, we see that Leon has to fall back. Managed to catch 6 projectiles, and that means the grenades were soon to follow. It's not going to be trying his luck out there. Manages to rotate back into the front desk, and now the pressure is on elsewhere. We still have Corey in the bathroom right here, making sure he can challenge onto these yellow stairs if someone moves into. An angle being held right now, so just in case Leon tries to move back in, his head will be taken off cleanly, as you almost saw portrayed there. Grenades falling in. Corey, so low on HP right now.
He was literally in this spot back in round 1. He was the first death after 45 seconds when he got pinched in, got grenaded out, got shot to the living hell. Here, though, it's Scooter coming upstairs, actually pushing up through the Melusi gadget and finding himself a kill with always converting the second onto Corey. They've now cleared out yellow stairs, no doubt the hardest part of this map to take when you want to go for this sort of take. But 2 minutes in, they've killed out a couple of members. They've got themselves in a wonderful position. And it turns out Empire know how to take yellow stairs. This one's pretty much theirs. Karjeka, do as he might against his old team, is left in a 1 versus 3. He's down to about 2/3 of his HP. I'm pretty sure we all have a good idea of how these rounds tend to conclude here. Down to about 25 HP. Plant going down behind the desk. As we all know, the upside down rappel from Joystick catches him out. And Empire take that site now. That's twice in a row when playing on console and office that they've walked away the victor in pretty convincing fashion.
I just want to quickly go back a little bit when we saw Hostage throw up that C4 onto Dan, wasn't able to convert the kill, but what was more important was they learned from what happened in round number 1, Empire did at least, because round number 1, Hostage threw up that C4 and then tried to rotate through. He basically did the exact same thing here. He threw up that C4, instantly went back towards Spiral Stairs to try and rotate through, but the member of Empire already went down, managed to get that kill in, and with that basically secured a threat, a roaming threat that could pop up anywhere at any time. And because of that, of course, the whole execute afterwards goes so much more easy because you have all guns just aimed towards the site. You do not have to worry about a flank as you just shut him down.
It's rough. Like, Rogue are really struggling to deal with that setup. And even when they've tried this dual style of playing it, one way you've got a couple of members out on the roam out towards Spiral looking to cause trouble, one way you're holding a bit more aggressively towards there, they just know how to get that Doc either out of bathroom dead or alive. He's down to almost no HP, and despite stimming himself up, he's still nearly dying out. They just know what to do. They know how to break Rogue apart there, and if I were them, I'd be looking to steer away from that kind of hold here. If you know they're going to take yellow, maybe it's time to just avoid that site altogether, or think of something really creative to keep them from picking you off so easily. Maybe take someone like Corey on the dock away from playing in bathroom and put him somewhere a little bit safer. Coming into round number 4, though, archives tell us the split site, the cursed site. I think anyone who looks at this map as a brand new map will go, oh my god, there is a site split across 2 floors. No one's going to play that. They'll be baffled to see that this site is one of the most interesting to see on the map, I think, if not in the whole game. And the fact that teams make it work so regularly by playing so many C4s from downstairs is a real testament to just how deadly vertical play can be if defenders get it right.
It is basically, as you say, due to the fact that the complete flooring of the upper one in Tellers is a soft floor. You can bang through it, you can make explosives go through it, and you can C4 through it, as you just said, and that makes it so defendable. And that combined with a shotgun or 2, which will be most likely onto the forms of Kurjaka playing that mute, you're going to be able to consistently stop them if they try to go for a plant there. And that is what makes that site so powerful. And then you're saying, well, why don't you attack the basement instead? Well, I mean, there's going to be 2 mirrors now, and probably both those mirrors windows are going to be faced towards the western side, which will make it hard as Dan picks up the first kill onto Leon Gids.
It's really interesting. Me and Dev were having a very brief chat around this before the broadcast got underway around Reaper's new video, where he was talking around this, playing the map and being out there to attack drones, to then pull back towards site and keep yourself alive. Leon there almost breaking the rule and committing a cardinal sin, you might say, in getting rid of that drone inside a meeting, slowing down Empire there and being happy they've managed to waste a bit of time, but then coming back up for the repeat up yellow stairs in the confidence that he could collect that kill. Can't, and they've now lost pretty much all of their vertical pressure. They've cleared the top side of the map. Everyone else now seems to be playing downstairs, waiting for those C4s. So now it gives a bit more breathing room to Empire. They've got time to play with here, but it's now going to be a fact of trying to deal with those that are still upstairs, like Hosty, clear him out, and leave the ones that are on site being their only worry when it comes to C4 play.
Well, Dan is going to be taking out Hosty now as he falls down onto that hatch. And I was going to say, vertical play works both ways as they open up completely from above with that sledge. Make sure to use that hammer justly. And we'll be creating some long angles here. I wanted to say, actually, I really like the angle Corey has created here, watching the actual hatch. It's a bit further back into the archives. You can't quite see it from here, but he was going to be trying to try and contest. Didn't really succeed in doing so as he attempts another wall bang. Will be failing to actually achieve that, and he will be countered himself. Grenades being tossed through. C4 to try and respond, but it's going to be too late. It's all up to Kurjaka now.
Absolutely great setup with the vertical angles there as well. They do work both ways, as we always say, Hap. It's not a one-way affair, and unfortunately, it's a very one-way affair for Empire in this round. Man, that's 2 sites now where they have looked prolific, both down here in Archives Tellers and also up in Console and Meeting. Ideas have got to come out from Rogue here. They've had success on Press and Lobby. They can return there now if they want to, or they can look towards Garage and Cafeteria to try and get something out of this half of the map, but so far, it's all coming up Empire.
Indeed. Definitely showing to be superior during this first half so far. Rogue having 2 more opportunities, 2 more rounds to try and salvage this half, bring it back to 3-3, or at least pick up 1 round, because if it continues like this, you're going back to Console Meeting right now, you might find yourself a bit of a pickle.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, there's a change coming out, admittedly. They are moving Corey across to playing on the Pulse, so he'll be looking to play downstairs, either in basement or on the ground floor, to feed some information about where these players are when you're looking towards the assault in towards Yellow Stairs. And Kurjaka instead is going to be the one stepping across to playing on the dock. And I wonder if that's because he intends on playing somewhere else. I would like to see him not make the same mistake that Corey has now twice of playing inside of the bathroom, because both times Empire is squared up. They've got the grenades, they've got the angle from Always playing on that window and just daring him to try and peek or set a single toe wrong, and he's been picked off in both of those rounds. So hopefully there is a bit of a change in the winds here for Rogue. They've got to do something different, repeat the same. As you said back in the pre-game, I think Hap actually just off broadcast, do the same thing, get the same result.
It's like do the same thing, expect different results is the definition of insanity. But they're indeed changing things up as you see the bathroom wall, they open up some angle holes. And this might indicate to the fact that they're hoping to challenge anybody entering it without playing it themselves, as you can see right here. Like this, when you're repelling, you will not be able to see anything, but when you repel in, Rogue is going to be able to tell, and they're going to be able to find your head based on where your feet are located. As not sure what Dan is doing. Might be masking the sound of the repel. That would be the only logical explanation as the window now opens up. Could be sighted to try and get a kill, but will not be finding anybody.
They're pretty aggressive there on the setup as well. Scyther straight across the window, just hoping to find something or someone, but sadly finding neither. And Corey's managed to back himself away from playing downstairs. You saw him in that kind of early challenge in case someone was coming through yellow doorway. And made the right call. Didn't do a Leon, didn't re-peek. He is now crawling back towards yellow stairs, hoping to cause a bit of disruption. But I imagine on the side of Empire here, you're assuming he probably has Batway, that he's not been lurking around for much longer. There's got to be so careful here, but the yellow stairs doorway might just be the answer to them winning this round. If he gets out of here and nets a double kill, this could be everything for them.
Not just that, but they also have the angle all the way from the projector room, so they need to make sure that Kozak is not actively playing that as Dan gets stacked up. He will survive, but they're going to be aware of the fact that Corey is out there now, and there's going to be some huge pressure points to be created right here as he tries and successfully falls back up all the way into Fisa.
I hope he's realized how much he's pushing his luck now. As a guy that is normally responsible for team kills on the side of Rogue, here you're pushing your luck at almost being a death for your team early on by trying to go so aggressively on that. However, it's the fear that it instills now, the time that it wastes on the side of Empire, because they've got to be conscious of someone was downstairs, they might still be down there. He's so far come back twice. What if he comes back a third time? So I like how Rogue here, without trying to go too aggressive, are wasting time on the side of Empire. They aren't giving them any opening picks. They aren't giving them the advantage to have confidence that they can go for a big play. They're just happily sitting back and giving them something to worry about and just spooking them up a little bit every few seconds.
And you said it to the ping 2.0 system coming in, the Maestro Cam being pinged out, and the Sophia impacts attempted to be used to take it out. I believe it actually succeeded. And that leaves in a 5-on-5 situation with 35 seconds left. Empire really not having any control yet. Everybody's still outside of the building. Maybe one person in yellow stairs. Not quite sure about that, because Zaka tries to challenge the one onto the balcony right here. Is going to be able to land the kill? That's the question. He manages to survive while falling back. That is a huge one that I did not expect.
It's amazing that he's managed to get away with that, but there's a second one coming out as Corey tries his luck for a third time, but it's a third strike and you are out, buddy, as are most of Rogue. It's taken a lot longer, but Empire have still found themselves in a dominating position. It looked like it was Rogue who was being patient. Stuff it. It's Empire being patient with a flawless round. All 5 kills coming in the closing 30 seconds. Wonderful round from them, and very different to what we saw in the first few on a console meeting. This now is where Rogue have to back away. They're down 4-on-1 on the defensive half. Things aren't looking pretty. You need to guarantee yourself another round here, and it looks like when I go to Lobby and Press, the only site where they have had some success.
It's definitely not looking pretty here, but what actually stands out to me, Des, is that everybody with 30 seconds left was still outside of the building of Empire. They're just repelling everywhere. Managed to get all these kills without a single one being traded back. And that is really hurting Rogue right now. Rogue has to do something to make this right. They are going back to Lobby Press, the one site they won. But will it be enough for them? Will it be enough that they can actually get the second round in, go for a 4-2 split, at least salvage the damages, and hopefully make up for it in the second half? Because if Empire goes to 5-1 right now, they are going over to the defense. It's not unlikely they will get 2 rounds.
It's going to be a real feels bad man if it goes that far. I mean, looking at console as a map, you see quite a few teams like to start attack here. I believe it's BDS are the greatest example of a team who always start attack when playing here. And for good reason, because there are so many windows, once you actually get up to the building and have got past the horrific potential for spawn peaks, the ability to threaten any site, given how pretty much every single one is played into a window, of course, bar from looking towards something like Tellers and Archives, with how things downstairs too, I guess. Otherwise, you're looking at very, very outside base play. It's very easy to play aggressively around the windows, the same as you'd have on something like Coastline. So I completely see why Empire are feeling confident here on the attacking side, and you would hope Rogue, when it comes around to that halftime switch, show the same amount of confidence going into their attacking half.
Definitely so. As Empire right now onto the attack for the last round. If they can get yet another one in, they will be finding themselves in an absolute stunning first half position. Basically just waiting to clear it out. And that is 3
Imagine if it
points.
just shatters our expectations, by the way, around predictions. If Empire actually take this and suddenly we're all wrong in the first game of the season.
I just saw on the CGG predictions that Maddox and Easy are the only ones of everybody, like everybody, that predicted Empire to win. So there might be big braining us here. I'm not sure. Maybe we should just let them do all the jobs. But the thing is, if Empire managed to take the win here, right? They're getting 3 points. 3 points that are going to be crucial towards the end of this season, which marks the end of the year, to keep them out of that relegation spot. Secret and Chaos are right behind them, and those 3 points will actually give them some space, some headspace to make sure that they are not the ones to go to CL next year.
It'd be a breather, I think, for any team to start off with a win. There's a couple of teams here who, if they win today, would already be walking away with more points than they had in, you know, well, more than half the number of points they had in the last stage, looking towards teams like Chaos, when I say that, who ended, I believe, on 5 points at the end of the stage. A single win will give you more than half than you had in the whole of last season. That's just how fine a margin we're talking for some of these teams who've got to drag themselves out of the rut. And Empire are one of those teams. It's a long way to fall for a team that everyone holds in such high regard after previous performances at tournaments like Six Invitational 2019. There's more to come from these boys. We all know what they're capable of. Just got to find their way a little bit, it feels like.
Right now, 1 minute left. We see Empire just setting themselves up to go for the execute. We have Leon Gitz roaming around the tellers right here, but seem to be aware of his position as drones are zooming by. Or are they not? Will they be aware? That's the question, actually. Is he going to be able to go for a huge flank here? Because as soon as Joystick jumps through that window, he might be taken out. As right now, the plants come through. The grenades are being tossed out. Smoke's there to cancel things out. 40 seconds left. Can Empire nail this one?
They managed to last time round when they were pressed for time in the final 30 seconds. However, last time round, there wasn't Leon finding an early double kill. Is that going to be a triple coming out? Yes, it will. The man's a monkey at the windows, but everything's coming his way. Snatching all the possessions of the onlookers here and snatching away the hope of a victory in this round from Empire. What a flip it has been compared to the console and office sites here, when it's a 5 versus 1 to Rogue. The last round was flawless going the way of Empire, and here it's going to end all the way of Rogue with a flawless round for themselves. 4 kills coming out of Leon, playing around these windows inside of Meeting. Heroic play coming out of him to salvage something in round number 6 for Rogue.
Almost single-handedly, you can call it, salvaging that round right there for Rogue, making sure they will be ending this half on a 4-2, giving them a good fighting chance, actually. What's going over to the attack? Because we love to say it, there's 2 sides to Game of Siege. And even though it looks like Empire are so strong right now, we might just see them completely clapping back right now on the sides of Rogue. Rogue might actually just now start playing the game and start to show why they were top of the leaderboards last season and for so many more times before.
This is a case again, though, where we had a few teams with this issue last season, where it came down to one player. I'm looking at Virtus Pro here and thinking of someone like Pasha. Only 1 or 2 players ever really stood up and made themselves count in games and situations when the team really needed them. And right now, Leon on 8 kills has as many kills as the rest of his team put together. This game isn't all about frags, it is about the supporting roles, but it has been a really rough first half where they haven't been able to achieve very much. Admittedly, in that last round, round number 6 was a pretty good one.
We're playing 120% here in EUL, and we're getting right back into it. Hosty is playing on that Zofia, and I'm not sure, I haven't watched too much UK, but I remember something called Oregon when they were playing, I believe, against London Esports, where the guy just walked in consistently with Zofia, getting a 4 or 5k.
Yeah, that's just what the guy does. Absolutely wrecks house when the best time comes around, when he's given the opportunity, and we'll see if that opportunity presents itself, no doubt, over the next few games or even over the next few rounds. Well, back in then, Garage is going to be where we head. First time on this map. Rogue almost allergic to it, not choosing to pick it even once in the first half, but Team Empire wasting no time and starting out down there. I'm looking towards Corey on the Amaru here, expecting why we might be seeing that come through. We've seen a couple of teams leading towards teams like Temper. I believe we saw BDS do it once or twice as well in a nod towards their French brethren, where you bring this along and you can zap up through hatches, you can zap up through windows and get a really cheeky plant down if you go inside something like console and Meeting. Clearly isn't the agenda here. It quite simply is not possible because they're attacking on the downstairs, but it does at least give Corey some rapid mobility on the top floor if they want to make use of it. That's exactly what he's going to do right now, straight into admin to make sure it's cleared out.
I honestly think that this is the main strength of Amaru. You're going to be able to insert yourself in the building within 15 seconds into a spot that the defenders are not going to be expecting you at that moment in time. You might catch off someone who is rotating still out after putting up some setup on the top floor. You might catch someone still reinforcing in these extreme cases. He has been spotted now, though, by the default cam, but this is exactly what Amaru shines at. Just quick insertion into the map to try and catch defenders off guard and put up early pressure.
Oh, There's Leon straight up there finding the opening onto Scooter here, so that's the Jaeger picked off. And sure, okay, he's playing on the roam a little bit here, trying to cause some trouble. And just like Leon did back in the last half, he was the one who got caught out pretty early. Has zapped his way back down into sight here. Corey trying to slink after him, not being able to find anything, admittedly. He's trying to get control of Piano, I would imagine, so they can start going to get this wall opened up. Last thing you want is any kind of denials to be playing onto the doors. I believe there might be a mute jammer or two down, but that's about it. Otherwise, hey, it shouldn't be too difficult for them to get the control they need here to start looking for that plant in the default spot between the white van and the black car.
In theory, his job is already done, right? He inserted himself at the top floor in administration office, and they instantly, well, within 30 seconds, had control of that top floor. Right now, they're trying to push through. They're trying to get this bathroom control, and Stan is putting himself into the angle of the hatch right here. He's hoping to go for one last stand on that middle floor. For one last stand here in the public bathroom to hopefully take out one before he drops through, and then instantly, with that, equalize the score.
A lot more to do here, still holding around inside a bathroom. As you know, we spoke about in the first half, being able to hold inside of here and just cause a little bit of trouble is normally part of the game. They have cleared things out very, very quickly. So Empire have been quick to say, right, we know when we're beaten here. Scooter's gone down. Fair play, Rogue. We'll back our way down towards the site here and try and cause some trouble. And Joystick, the player that we've all been asking, where was he last stage? The worst rating, some of the worst stats I think he has ever put up since we've seen him in pro play. Everyone's been wondering, is he going to stand up and make himself heard here in the second stage? At least in this round here, yes, he will.
There we go, and Leon gets trying to go for another one. We'll be able to pick up that kill as Dan also finds one.
Oh,
Leon with a double, actually. And that is going to be turning things around. Rogue find himself in a proper position as he gets himself a quad. Is he going to be aware that the last one is going to be inside of security? Leon, are you aware he's on the top right here? He's always just sitting on top of his cabin, and no, he will not know. The kill will come in, the ace will be denied, and 15 seconds will be left. They need to go for a plant soon, but he still has this Maestro camera available to him, and it should be enough for him to try and actually take down Rips quite enough to make sure that that plant doesn't happen. 5 seconds left. The time will run out. As the plant just started. Rips.
Can he do this? He might be able to get away with it if he knows where they are. Not quite. Actually, he managed to pull the one down. What?
He got the down. He got the down.
Yes. Oh, look where he's planting behind the blue. What's he doing?
He did not have enough time.
Okay. No, I think he got sprayed down while he was behind the blue box, and that was the spot there if he was between the cars or something, sure. But the fear was of that evil eye that was down behind the white van, and it was like, well, we can't plant down, we need to go up. You go up, it's as simple as anything for that Alder to round the corner, lay down lines of fire to anyone who might be on the upper platform. Before you know it, you're done and dusted. Great round coming out there and a wonderful save by Always. One of the players that coming in as the new boy, again, always has eyes on him. Not this stage, of course, was back in the last stage. Has been in with him for a while now. But small things like that are the things that will get you remembered in this competition. Wonderful start, and literally that puts Empire 2 rounds away from bringing down the #1 team from last stage. And if you need any evidence of how crazy EU can get, this is it.
Leon's ace denied. That is the most important part. Rips had to plant on the upper part, considering otherwise he will be zapped to death in these last dying seconds. Just goes for a bit of a sway. You're just pre-fire. You know he's going to be up there, Des, because they had the cam. His teammates were watching it. You know no one is planting on that lower part of the garage. So all you have to do is just hold left mouse and swing by with the Alda. You have 84 bullets. Use them.
Absolutely unbelievable. Jelvin saying, R6CUL back, Pog. R6CUL back, Pog. R6CUL back, Pog. Good luck, have fun, all 10 teams. And I'm sure it's going to be a fun stage. As said, this game is wonderful. This match is wonderful evidence of just how unpredictable, how crazy, how erratic EU can be at the best of times. Let's see now if we actually get a proper use case coming out of Corey on this Amaru. Where it's going to be used, I would imagine coming in from Piano. They haven't reinforced the hatch, and that normally is a go-to counter. If you are afraid of that, get that reinforced. They can't come slipping up. It normally forces them through the window. That's a little bit easier to deal with, but apparently that wasn't on the agenda for Team Empire. They have left it soft for now.
Left soft indeed. As Rogue setting themselves up. It's Husty on the bathroom window. Maybe trying to take some early control. There is a Banshee, I believe, located on the other side of the bathroom wall, meaning as soon as they come through that yellow doorway, they will be slowed down a substantial amount. There's no way Husty can take that down because of the reinforcement and where it's located. Instead, they will just use an S-charge not be able to hit. And that is where the Ping 2.0 system comes in. You will find out where it is. You know the radius of your gadgets. You're going to be able to use it into perfection. And this is exactly what happened there. But look at how many drones are left, Des. There's about 3, 4, 5 drones left for them to use on Rogue. And more than half the round left.
Drones are always a really interesting one to watch because it can tell you quite a few things. One, the attacking team are very, very quick and I suppose uncaring for their drones. They're not like pets to them. They'll just discard them at a moment's notice to find out where someone is. Or two, it can tell you that the other team, the defending team, is playing quite aggressively around the map, looking to pick up those drones early on to deny that later round intel away. And this is something that I think a couple of teams have fallen quite shy of. G2 are a team that I always remember in their game against Na'Vi on Cafe. Really poor drone control because Na'Vi was so good at killing drones early, and it led to a lot of mistakes coming out of G2. Speaking of mistakes, well, Scooter doesn't make those. Double kill coming out for him onto Corey and Rips. And Rogue just not paying attention to the small things like this. Not the last round, admittedly, you can forgive them for. This round here, you think there'd be a flank drone? Admittedly, maybe it was already killed off, but they should know plays like that are going to happen.
He's been running around there for more than a minute and will still be able to get away with it. Running out, getting that double kill. As Leon now takes down Shepard, he will be smoked, so he will be stuck right here into the bathroom. But here's Gerzeka to support him on the other side, creating a rotation for him in some sense. But the diffuser is down. 34 seconds on the clock. Scyther is downstairs. Dan is upstairs. It's going to be his teammate to fall, as always. Will be getting that one and follows it up with a double kill. It's Empire right now onto match point as for the first game of Stage 2. They're looking to get a win here and put themselves out of danger zone of the relegation straight away. Make sure they get the head start onto their opponents of Secret and Chaos.
Hap, I've got a question for you.
Shoot.
How does it feel to finally get a prediction wrong, or about to get it? I know what it feels like. I am very experienced in getting my predictions wrong, but for you, this must be a new feeling.
It's indeed a new feel. I mean, I'm 75%, so I've had gotten some wrong, and I mean, it was mostly when I predicted Rogue or G2. So, considering I predicted G2 later, I'm not too confident in my own predictions right now. But hey, Medics and Easy are observers. They're proving why they are the observers because they apparently know the game. You know,
hey, they've got some wild picks as well. They've got Chaos winning and stuff like you mentioned. So we'll see how the day shakes up at the end. They made us charge into the future ahead of us all. Time will tell, but let's see how this final round closes things out first. Going to find ourselves in press lobby for this setup, and we haven't seen the Amaru used to great effect yet. Admittedly, there has only been one chance for it. And we were looking in that last round to say, hey, there's an opportunity here to get yourself up through Piano Hatch and go for a plant. This didn't really happen for them because everything fell to tatters long before that could become a thing. And dare I say earlier, I touched on the kills coming out from these teams back at the end of round number 5 or 6. Leon was on 8 kills. The rest of his team collectively was on 8 kills. Since the rehost, Leon is on 5, and Karjak is the only other team member to have found a kill. That puts Leon at this point at 13 kills, the rest of his team at 9. That's how starved and deprived of any kind of fragging capability this team have been today, with the exception of Leon.
I just have to say I'm happy that Leon is finding his way back again, because when he just joined in Rogue, right, he wasn't that flashy, but he's definitely able to show some signs of greatness now. Indeed, as Corey goes down and will be finished off. It's very unfortunate to lose your Mari that early on, especially on this site. And so you could go for some quick plays either from admin or just go directly into the piano and surprise them as soon as you have control.
I mean, touching on Leon, I think his journey's been very kind of mirrored by that of Rogue, right? Slow start to last season. Things really picked up as Leon settled into that IGL role and trying to be the fragger. And I think almost he was guilty of trying to do too much at once. Once he settled and got comfortable, understood his team a little bit better, got comfortable being the real IGL for his team. You know, I remember him saying to me, it's just great to have a team that when you talk and when you plan ideas together, everyone is on the same page. And it did take time to come together. I'm glad that it's finally got there, but Empire are seen to a bitter end to that. They are coming crashing down on the image that Rogue has built for themselves here. And this round already is looking like it's going to go the way of Empire. 2 kills. Leon, the only one finding frags. Corey, the cheese element, dare we say here, playing on the Amaru, are about to fall to tatters. You've still got Dan being sat in the back of sight, and we've still got 100 seconds to go in this round. There still could be plenty more to come from this here, Hap, because Rogue might just try and bleed this one out slowly. Grenade does come through and picks out Dan. And is that enough, though? Because even Rips is down to half HP.
There's going to be 90 seconds left though, and well, Rogue, they used auto utility to take out one of those Banshees on the likes of Leon. There's a lot of utility being used, and that means they do not have a lot left, and they're finally going for the actual side, especially when Scooter starts up by taking down some damage of Rips. It's going to be a true gunfight, a Mexican standoff, you might call it, because that's the last man standing upstairs. Well, actually, there's still two more upstairs, one in connector and one in bathroom. They're not keen on giving this away, and as Rips now goes down, it seems like it will be game over for Rogue, especially with the diffuser now in hands right here of Scooter. But loses it out. A 3-on-1. It's all up to Husty now. Is he going to be able to secure it? As he gets the first one.
Nice, sweet long-range kill there, straight through and towards Yellow, and does pick up one, but it puts him in a 1 versus 2 with a lot of work to do. And this is not the kind of pressure you want as someone who's just stepped into their first game of EUL. We spoke around this earlier on when it was Empire on the attack. They were finding themselves stuck upstairs with about, what, 20 seconds to go? He's going to try and do the same thing right here, but no doubt's going to find himself caught out by the information, by the Melusi gadgets sat all around him as well. Everywhere he steps, he is being afflicted with something. And with 15 seconds to go, it feels like he's got to find these kills here. He can try and go for a plant, but I fear that this game is pretty much already said and done. C4 from below. Up it comes. No, it doesn't. Volo was going for a second. Didn't quite connect onto anything. No one really looking to find a kill initially, but Hosty knows he's out of time here. Shotgun comes round. Will find one. C4 sings through. Finally, it's going to come out from Shepard, catching out Hosty. And my God, have Empire just raised the roof on this game, and Rogue not getting off to the start to this season they could have hoped for.
They definitely raised the bar right here. They've shown what they are going to be capable of. And Empires aren't building a day. They're definitely not rebuilding a day because, of course, they have been in a bit of a slump. But it's definitely a great start for them as they managed to get these 3 points. Straight off the bat, first game of Stage 2. Empire looking absolutely dominant over Rogue.
And what I like is it was the whole team there. A couple of times throughout the rounds, we were calling out different players. Always, we gave a mention to Joystick